I want to start off with this question. You are part of what some might describe as a crowded GOP field already. What are you hearing from voters in Iowa? Is there really a desire for more options in the GOP?
Well, the answer is yes. And what I'm hearing from Iowa voters and really across the country is, first of all, it is early in the campaign season, and they're studying the candidates, and they're wide open to options. And so it's really reflected by the fact that next week we expect 3 more candidates to jump into the race. Why is that happening? Because they're leaders and they see an opening in an unpredictable field in which we can be competitive. And so they are looking for new leadership in the Republican Party and new leadership for our country. So it's a good day, and I think this just starts and kicks off the fall campaign.
Yeah, you mentioned those other names likely joining the race. Former Vice President Mike Pence teased a big announcement today. He said he'll make a big announcement later this week. There are reports that Chris Christie will jump into the White House race any moment now. So how do you set yourself apart with that many candidates to choose from?
Well, everybody has something different that they want to present. From my standpoint, I'm the only candidate with significant law enforcement experience, as well as being a governor, as well as being in the national security arena when I worked at Homeland Security as Undersecretary in charge of border security. So the issues that we face today, from the fentanyl crisis to balancing the budget, these are things that I've worked on as governor and also as a lead federal official. You know, and it's important for Iowans, the fact that I grew up on the farm, I understand hard work and discipline and what makes small communities great in America. And so that's what I convey, and I think that sets me apart as well, my background, but also my vision for America and how we solve problems.
One of the people also in that GOP field, of course, is former President Donald Trump. You said last month you believed that he should drop out of the race. Do you still think that?
Well, let me first say that he just issued a statement praising the North Korean dictator and tyrant Kim Jong-un, praising him because he has a leadership role in the World Health Organization. Let me tell you, American leaders should not be praising a dictator that oppresses his people. And so that's just an example of where, yes, I think we need to have different leadership, a different voice for the party that was founded on the principles of strength and individual liberty and respect. And so, yes, let's move a different direction. And I think the voters are ready to look at alternatives.
Yeah, and we know that the former president was not at today's event in Iowa. What do you make of that? And what were people there telling you about that?
Well, they were actually very interested in hearing from the candidates who were there. So it didn't seem like it was much of a disappointment. Now, I expect him to be on the debate stage, whether it's the first one or the second one, because the American voters and the Iowa voters expect the candidates to be on that debate stage. It's very important that they hear their views and how they're contrasted with the other candidates. So we're going to have a robust campaign. I welcome Donald Trump into the mix, and I'm sure we'll be on the debate stage together at some point.
Yeah, let's talk about that debate stage for a moment here. How do you intend to sort of fend off some potential attacks from the former president?
Well, anytime somebody's attacking you, that means that you're considered a threat. And so if I get attacks and incoming from Donald Trump, then we're getting close. And so that's to be expected in this environment. My focus will be on what I've done and where I want this country to go, and generating those positive results that reflect the national character of our country, which includes strength, it includes goodness, it includes toughness, fighting for our principles. To me, that's our national character, and that's what I want to showcase.
If the former president is the GOP nominee for 2024, will you support him?
Well, I expect to support the GOP nominee. I've always done that. I've been a Republican Party chairman in Arkansas fighting that battle. I expect that there'll be somebody different as the nominee, and also it'll be interesting to see, hopefully President Trump will sign that pledge as well.
So you don't think it'll be the former president on the ticket?
I don't think so. That's why I'm running. That's why others are jumping in next week. We think there's a lot of alternatives and a readiness for new leadership.
Fair enough. Well said. Asa Hutchinson, thank you so much for your time and for speaking with us today.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.